Hi everyone, this is Bibi Apampa, the retirement queen. Today I want to talk about making maximum impact in life, especially in the new year. How do you make maximum impact? There are 5 areas that you need to consider if you really are keen about making maximum impact in this new year. The first area you have to look at is your family. Family is important. It's important that you take care of your family because at the end of the day, if you make money, you have a career, you're successful, and you're not successful at home, what would happen? You're going to come back to meet an empty house, a house where there's no love. So it's important for you to be making maximum impact in life, especially in this new year, that you take and carry your family along. You share love with your family. And remember, there's always an hierarchy. What do I mean by hierarchy? Who comes first? The God comes first in your life. Then after that is your spouse. I know for many ladies, their children come first. But the children would grow up and they would leave the house. And you'll be left alone with your spouse. It's good to cultivate a good relationship, friends with your spouse. So that at any point in time, you know you have a friend who has your back. And when you're now looking at your children, you have to learn to discipline them with love. You have to learn how to show them love. You have to learn how to spend quality time with your children. This is very important. The next we're going to look at in making maximum impact in the new year is your finances. I know for a lot of people are going through challenges with their finances, with the economy being upside down, with so many prices going up, inflation, cost of living so high. Nevertheless, there's some things you can take into consideration that would help you to make maximum impact where your finances is concerned. You have to learn how to make money in this new year. I'm making money in different areas and different ways. I will talk a lot about this later on, even as we interact more and more on these weekly podcasts and that I'm doing. But you need to learn how to make money. You need to learn how to manage money effectively. Not how much you make, it's how much you keep. So there's a need for you to look for all the other ways of making money and other ways of managing money effectively. Then the third thing you need to, when it comes to money, learn how to multiply money. How do you multiply money? The money that you have in your hands, that you will feel that maybe it's not enough, but still, you will still learn how to save, you will learn how to invest and multiply the same money by having multiple streams of income. We definitely will be looking at that maybe in another podcast that I'll be doing soon. The next thing we need to look about to make maximum impact in this new year, it concerns your fitness, your body. There's no point going out, trying to make money, having everybody liking you, your family is okay. If you don't have the health to support it, you will not be happy. And many of the goals that you set, you will not be able to accomplish them. And being healthy, taking care of your fitness, is very simple. If you look at this word, eat, E-A-T, what does it mean? One, you eat differently for the E. And that means when it comes to your diet, you need to consider what you take into your body. It's very, very important. As you're growing older, please reduce your animal protein and take more of vegetable protein. Drink a lot of water. Take your supplements, vitamins. It's very, very important. What goes inside of you could decide what would happen to your body. So you need to eat differently and take better care of your health. Reduce your sugar, reduce your salt. Anything that is really white, you need to reduce it. On your plate, let your plate be colorful. Greens, vegetables, things that would not just carbohydrates and white stuff. Try as much as possible. Once your plate is colorful, you'll be sure you have a balanced diet. A diet that would keep you healthy or keep you going. Portion control is also very important. Because something is free does not mean you have to eat it. You need to have a portion control. Then secondly, the A in the eat is act differently, which means you need to incorporate fitness, no matter how busy you are, into your daily routine. If all you do is 30 minutes walk a day, it's important. You see, aging starts from the leg up. So it's important for you to strengthen your legs at any point in time. Your legs need to be strong, which means you need to exercise your legs. So try to work. Wake up in the morning, walk around your house. Even if you cannot go out, try to do a work that would make you feel that, yes, 30 minutes. Count your steps if possible. Most people have smartphone now. Use an app that will help you to count your steps so that at least minimum of 3,000 steps. 10,000 is recommended. But I know that when you're just starting out, 10,000 might be difficult. It was difficult for me. But I started with a goal of 3,000 and then moved up from there. So as much as possible, try to incorporate fitness into your daily routine. Even if you cannot go to the gym, try walking. Even on your bed, try to do some exercises. Later on, I'm going to share some exercises that I do for even as you are growing older that you can do without weights, without harming your knees, especially for ladies who have knee challenge problems with their knees. It's important. We must exercise this body. And then you have to learn to think differently. What do I mean by thinking differently? You need to, one, exercise this your brain. It's a muscle that needs to be exercised. So you need to read daily. So incorporate reading into your brain. The challenge is when you don't read, your brain is not being exercised. So it's not being stretched. I don't want to grow old and have dementia. It's something I'm sure nobody would want. But the more you read, the more you exercise your brain, the more your brain is active. So try to read every day. Another thing you have to do about thinking differently is your lifestyle. Where do you go often? Try as much as possible not to live too far so that your daily commute is not too much. It's important that you change your lifestyle. Is there anything that stresses you? Try to avoid things that stress you. Try to avoid news that would affect your emotional balance. Things that would, show you out of balance as much as possible. Avoid it. If there are people in your life that actually stress you, then you might just need to love them from afar, so that you don't allow the negativity that they're carrying to rest upon you and affect you. And then the other thing you now have to think about is your friends. I've talked about family, I've talked about finances, I've talked about fitness. The fourth thing you need to do when you want to live a life of maximum impact in this new year are your friends. Who are your friends? Your finances, or how far you go when it comes to your finances, would depend on the number of kind of friends that you keep. Show me your friends and I'll show you the person you are. Do your friends add to you, or do they subtract from you? Do they multiply you? Do they multiply your resources? Do they multiply your connections? Do they multiply your outreach? It's important to have empowering relationships. Friends that empower you, that stretch you, friends that encourage you to be a better person, to make maximum impact in life. Friends that empower you to live a life of higher dimensions, not a life like before. It's impossible for now to go on the way we're living in previous years. Things have to change. Things have to get better. Things have to move higher. And it's important for you, because if you don't have friends who challenge you, if you don't have friends who encourage you, if you don't have friends who are able to stretch you, who are able to empower you, you might run into problems. So check your friends. Do they add to you? Do they multiply you? Do they subtract from you? Or do they divide from you? Know who your friends are. This is the time where maybe you need to do a count and decide, who will I continue with in this new year? Who are going to be my friends? Friends that we can work together, that we have the same goals, that we have the same values. Not friends who would lead you astray. Not friends who will make you making wrong decisions. You don't want those friends around you this year, because they will stop you from making maximum impact. And this year, I tell you, you need to make maximum impact. Finally, the other F is your faith. Who do you believe And what is your faith about? I'm a Christian and I believe in God. So whatever you're doing, there must be a higher authority, a higher power that challenges you, that makes you want to be a better person. Please hold on to your faith in this new year. Because at the end of the day, you need a superior being, somebody who created you, that you can be accountable to. And so your faith is important. In summary, what are the 5 things that you need to take into consideration to live a life of maximum impact in this new year? I talk about your family, knowing how to take care of them, love them, encourage them, be there for them, spend time for them. Remember, your spouse comes before your children. I talk about your finances, that you need to learn how to make money, how to manage money, and how to multiply money. Thirdly, I talk about your fitness, how you need to incorporate a fitness schedule every day, no matter how busy you are, and how you should eat differently, act differently, and think differently. And finally, I talk about your friends. That do your friends hard to you? Do they subtract from you, or do they multiply to you? And finally, your faith, which is very, very important. Let it be an anchor for you in this new year. Thank you for listening. I look forward to sharing with you every week. Thank you very much. Bye.